Zhou Dunyi. Zhou Dunyi, Chinese, Wei Giles, Chou Tun-i, 1017–1073, was a Chinese philosopher, cosmologist, and writer during the Song Dynasty. He conceptualized the Neo-Confucian cosmology of the day, explaining the relationship between human conduct and universal forces. In this way, he emphasizes that humans can master their qi, vital life energy, in order to accord with nature. He was a major influence to Zhu Xi, who was the architect of Neo-Confucianism. Zhou Dunyi was mainly concerned with Taiji, supreme polarity, and Wuji, limitless potential, the yin and yang, and the Wu Xing, the five phases. He is also venerated and credited in Taoism as the first philosopher to popularize the concept of the taijitu or yin-yang symbol. Life. Born in 1017 in Yingdao County, Daozhou Prefecture, in present-day Yangzhou, southern Hunan, Zhou was originally named Zhou Dunyi. Raised by a scholar official family, he was changed his name in 1063 to avoid a character in the personal name of the new emperor Yingzong. His father died when he was 14 and he was taken in by his uncle Zhengxiang. He received his first posting in government through his uncle. Although very active in his civil service career, he never did achieve a high position or get the presented scholar degree, Zhu Xi. Some of the positions that he held were district record keeper, 1040, magistrate in various districts, 1046–1054, prefectural staff supervisor, and professor of the Directorate of Education and assistant prefect, 1061–1064. He resigned from his last post 1 year before he died. He died near Mount Lu in Jiangxi province in 1073. After his death, Zhou was commonly called Zhou Liangzai for a name he adopted in his retirement that honored the Lian stream near his home. He was nicknamed the Poor Zen Fellow by Cheng Yi and posthumously honored as the Duke of Yuan, Yuangong, in 1200. Descendants. Zhou Dunyi's offspring held the title of Wu Jingboshi, Wu Jingboshi. In 1452 the title of Wu Jingboshi was bestowed upon Meng Xuan, the 56th generation offspring of Meng Zi, and upon Yan Shui, the 59th generation offspring of Yan Hui. In 1456–1457 the same was bestowed on Zhou Mian, the 12th generation offspring of Zhou Dunyi, on Chen Karen, the 17th generation offspring of the Cheng brothers, Cheng Hao and Cheng Yi, and on Zhu Ting, Zhu Qian, the 9th generation offspring of Zhu Xi. In 1539 the same was awarded to Zheng Dika, the 60th generation offspring of Zheng Can. In 1622 an offspring of Zhang Zai received the title, and in 1630 an offspring of Shaiyong. Writings. Taijitu. The Taijitu, explanations of the diagram of the Supreme Ultimate or diagram explaining the Supreme Ultimate, was placed at the head of the Neo-Confucian anthology Jinsu, Reflections on Things at Hand, by Zhu Xi and Lu Ziqian in 1175. He fused Confucian ethics and concepts from the Book of Changes, I Ching, with Taoist naturalism. He developed a metaphysics based on the idea that the many are ultimately one and the one is ultimate. This was the first 11th century Chinese text to argue for the inseparability of metaphysics or cosmology and ethics, as well as the first major Chinese text to explore the concept of the taijitu or yin-yang symbol. It contained his theory of creation, which can be summarized in the following paraphrase of its first section. Zhou Dunyi postulated that human beings receive all these qualities and forces in their higher excellence and, hence, are the most intelligent of all creatures. He also believed that the five agents corresponded directly to the five moral principles of Ren: humanity, Yi, righteousness, Li, propriety, Zhi, wisdom, and Sin, faithfulness. Tongshu. The Tongshu, the all-embracing book or penetrating the Book of Changes, was a reinterpretation of the Confucian doctrines. It was the basis for ethics in Neo-Confucianism. It stated that the sage is a superior man who acts in accordance with the principles of propriety, humanity, righteousness, wisdom, faithfulness, tranquility and sincerity. Sincerity being the basis for moral nature, it can be used to distinguish between good and evil and to perfect oneself. It spoke of principle, nature, and destiny together, which became three cardinal concepts of Confucian thought. He had a Taoist perspective toward nature. There are stories of Zhou Dunyi loving his grass so much that he would not cut it, reinforcing the concept that humans should appreciate life and nature and the importance of non-action. Zhou Dunyi is known to have said that the best quality of life is that of a pure lotus growing out of dirty waters, where the lotus is the natural equivalent of the noble person. He is known for pulling many ideas from Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. School. Zhou Dunyi had only two students who made any major contribution to Confucianism, his nephews Cheng Yi and Cheng Hao. The Cheng brothers studied under Zhou Dunyi only for a short time when they were younger. The brothers moved on to establish the Chengju school, which dominated Chinese philosophy for over 700 years. Zhou Dunyi is considered the founding father of that school, although there are no references in the Cheng brothers' writings to his contributions. Zhou Dunyi was a major influence on Zhu Xi, who was considered one of the greatest Confucian thinkers since Confucius himself. Zhu Xi was known to have said that Zhou Dunyi was the first great sage of the Song Dynasty, particularly for his emphasis on the concept of Wuji. Though he never had much influence during his lifetime, he was remembered as warm, humane, and kin with the natural world. Many Confucians believed that he embodied the virtue of authenticity. He had great insight into the way of heaven. The first major popularization of the taijitu symbol is also credited to Zhou Dunyi. This symbol, in an altered form, is now known worldwide as the commonly accepted symbol for the Chinese concepts of yin and yang. Accepted symbol for